I mentioned, I'm a community pastor, and I'm drawn to Occupy Oakland because this is a resurrection movement. Despite brutal state oppression and destruction by the police, this movement keeps coming back, and it is still coming back and coming back and coming back. I am part of the Interfaith Tent at Oakland, and I've been privileged to be part of the Justice for Alan Bluford movement, along with many of my comrades from Occupy Oakland. We are taking on a police department that feels that it can stop, frisk, beat up, and even kill black and brown men in Oakland without any response from the community. And we are saying we will respond, we will keep coming back. We will not let you get away with this. We are contesting a recent, very shoddy, unprofessional report from the district attorney that he's refusing to press charges on Officer Masso, who killed Alan Bluford. And we will continue to do that work until justice happens for Alan Bluford, for Oscar Grant, for all of the young men who've been murdered by police, not only in Oakland, but around the country. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dr. C.A.M. Grant. I am a teacher at KUFI-CHK. I've been a licensed acupuncturist for 20 years and an activist since I came out of my mother's womb. And this is a time for change. Change is inevitable. But the type of change we have is what we're looking at. Are we going to have change where oppression is what we're looking at? Are we going to have change where there are equal opportunities for everyone? That is what Occupy, decolonize, like us, satisfied like this. Occupations have been overwhelming for people that look like me. However, in taking over our rights to stand for ourselves, to live decent lives. I just got here late because a neighbor of mine in the Diamond District was evicted from their home for not being able to pay their mortgage. Well, they couldn't leave because they had no place to go because they had no money to do that with. So it's a really hard time for us economically, and when banks are given all this money and the people who support these banks are left out in the cold, something has to change. And that's what we all came here for. Not to hurt people, not to be violent, but to stand for change, because any of you that are taking pictures of us could be right where these other people are. It can change like that. So what do? We come together as one voice, one people, one heart to make the changes that are necessary so that there is not a big gap between who has and who doesn't. So the big thing here is that we're not a violent group. Those who are doing violence are not doing it in our name. Those who are doing violence are covering their face, and to me, it is cowardly because I'm standing here and all y'all can see me. Okay, and when I walk away, I've had all these pictures taken. I don't know who you are. So these people who decide to do all this violence, to break windows, and a lot of these store owners were very, very supportive, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, they had to pay to keep their stores together. So that changed a lot. So now people are looking at Occupy in Oakland as a disjointed and violent movement. It is not. Those people are not speaking in our name. They are the police. I mean, what is that? When you go out there with a violent tone, anything is possible. So what we are saying is change is inevitable. It is time for change. We are standing for change. We are standing for positive change. And every person from birth to the grave should have an opportunity to lead a decent life. And those opportunities should not be in Europe, should not be in China. The jobs should be here. And I mean, I want everybody to have a job, so they should be there. But our people here take care of it.
Ms. Morgan, I was going to ask, what is planned for the rest of the day? Who's organizing it?
We're in front of your restaurants officially closed. They could go some smoke.
At 3 p.m. there's supposed to be a rally, community meeting, and then they have a march at 7 p.m. that's planned and an overnight vigil that's planned. I wasn't part of the organizer, so I can't give you the details.
You want
I wasn't part of the organizer, so I can't give you the details.
I'm sure the details are on the Occupy Oakland website.
Really quick, Ms. Morgan, a quick question for you there. You mentioned how you are part of Occupy Oakland and that one action does not define the group. However, you know, you have mentioned also, you cited different violence, affecting shop owners and things like that. How does the layperson distinguish between the two? If both groups claim to be part of Occupy Oakland, how do we have a clear narrative on what we're talking about when we're
I think it would be very challenging for the layperson to know what to do. I can imagine the kind of confusion. And I know that Oakland was very supportive of it, and in their hearts, very supportive of the Occupy movement. But there are some legitimate concerns about some tactics. All I can say is that you know us by our actions, and that people who are involved with Occupy Oakland can align themselves with the tactics that feel aligned with their personal principles.
even if some of that may be extreme to some with breaking the windows and damaging property?
That's unfortunately that's one of the challenges of democracy. People have their own opinions and feel that protest looks one way to one person and one way to another.
But to be clear, this group is not a part of that, which is now we're showing our basic.
Well, this group is several people, many people, and every person has had to voice a different opinion. So trying to make one thing out of that's the challenge. There is no we don't do sound bites. There are other parties and people that do that. We have answers that we feel make you feel safe inside. Can't do that.
Do you feel safe?
Do I personally feel safe? Yes.
Will you be part of the demonstration tonight at 7 p.m.
I will be
against the
part of
police?
some. Yes.
So you support those tactics as part of some of those?
I support free speech. I support protesting. I certainly support challenging our police department. They need to hear from a lot more citizens. And I have a child that I am the guardian of, so I need to be home by 6 o'clock. So that's my boundary about that.
Thank you.
On the day of the general strike, we had 30,000 people right here. On any night, we had hundreds, often thousands of people standing here. They weren't rock throwers, they weren't wearing a mask, they were people like me. It's not the first time I've run for office, it's the second. We've been plugging away on this. What happened at Occupy is these young people were successful with their tents. They got the message out. And the people who committed the most violence were the Oakland police. All right, let's be real clear about that. And there was a very small minority of the movement that caused these issues. They got a lot of press attention, but they were a very small minority. We had just as many people standing out here doing constructive things and not getting any attention at all. Now, the reality of this protest is it was put down by the police all across the country. And I'd like to hear more about why that happened.
I just want to say too, without being, this is the big piece, is that they are armed. They are armed and violent against men, against people, they don't care who's in the audience. They don't care who's part of the protest. There are children who were gassed. That's ridiculous. You must look around and see, you're supposed to be trained, the police are supposed to be trained. And so in that training, they know how to differentiate between a criminal act, a criminal, and protest. So we need to have a differentiation. We need to have some kind of conversation across the world, actually, about police. Because the police are working for someone, and they're not working for the people. And the people are the police. They've got kids and all of that. So this is a huge concern, and it's getting out of control. It's not even getting out of control. And that's really what we need to focus on, is policing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you. You want any individual to just talk to people? Thank you.
Hey.
So this was the press conference on the morning of October 25th, the one-year anniversary of the Oakland Police Department raid when they used tear gas on the tent camp in the early hours of the morning, breaking up the tent camp. The crime rates dropped in downtown Oakland 19% during the weeks of the tent camp, which is contrary to the mayor's reason for breaking up the camp, where hundreds of people and thousands of people were being fed daily. Many people were finding a place to live who were homeless during our foreclosure and homelessness crisis, and people were actually learning how to build community and a way of life together with less suffering and more support. Hey Don, you want me to interview you?
Sure.
Okay.
Just in case you need to spell my name right.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Ustream Media, KTV
Yeah.
Ooze only.
You want to
Teardrop.
talk? Hi,
You know,
Teardrop.
we came out here to this little press conference. You know, it's a lot of people that's not gonna like the views of what was said. But it's straight up, man. We live in Oakland, you feel me? It's live Oakland, buy Oakland, make Oakland, support Oakland. So we really living in our city right now. We don't need no bullshit. We don't need the police be antagonized, because if they antagonize, you know what's happening. A lot of people get arrested. We have another day like January 28th, and we don't need that, because we're trying to get change. And instead of being in chains, we're trying to really make a change. So hopefully today everything go good. You know, 3 o'clock we're gonna have the big rally. 7 o'clock we're gonna have the big march. And you know, I'm playing y'all some good music and have a good time with y'all. So make sure y'all stay tuned. KTV Ooze on DJ Occupy.
All right, DJ Occupy, Teardrop. Okay. So Don, can you talk to me for a minute about some stuff?
Sure, man. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
All right. Why don't we... There we go. How's that?
Okay. Good. Well, I'm gonna have
You want
City Hall behind you. Yeah, that's good. Where you are is good.
Sure.
Or I'll just go right here. So this is Don McClay, right? And he is with the Green Party in Oakland and Alameda County in California, correct? So I've seen you've done some op-eds about Occupy over the year.
Yeah, I sure have.
And you've been running for office.
Yeah, I sure have. I'm running for City Council, District 1.
Okay, wow. And so what are your biggest concerns today on the first anniversary of the raid on Occupy Oakland?
What I just said. The big story that's not being told is not about 25 anarchists throwing rocks at a food store. It's about the Oakland police attacking hundreds and hundreds of people with tear gas in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And I'm really concerned. You know, I might become a civil servant here in Oakland. I'm really concerned about how that police force operates and the kind of decisions they make. It wasn't the first time. There was an Oscar Grant protest before that. There was a Raiders game before that. There was an anti-war protest before that, where the police showed their ability to act brutally when it really wasn't necessary.
Okay. And so what about I guess they're talking about reclaiming the plaza tonight. Do you think they're going to have enough people to do that? What are your thoughts about tonight?
I think the protest should just be allowed to unroll.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Oakland police should take a look at what the San Francisco police and others do when a large protest takes place and let the thing unroll.
Okay.
Right? And I think if the people want to stay here tonight, they should be allowed to stay here tonight.
All right. So you're a candidate for Oakland City Council District 1?
I sure am.
And you're Green Party?
And I'm Green Party.
So your candidate is Jill Stein and Vice President Sherry Honkala?
And given that this is a safe state, I'll definitely be voting for them.
Yay,
I think if I lived in a swing state, it would give me some pause.
Okay, well, thanks for being out here and for all your work with Occupy.
Thanks for having us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Pastor Preston, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to talk to the live stream?
I talk to a live stream.
Okay. All right. Hi, Pastor Preston.
Blessings.
I actually heard you speak, and I actually streamed you on February 2nd. Was a press conference.
I remember.
For about January 28th. So I remember you saying that you were living at the tent camp last year.
Well, last year, tent camp, a good portion of this year, from January 14th to about the 3rd of March.
Oh, right.
I slept in these little square cubicles and moved from cubicle to cubicle.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So what was it like for you when the tent camp was destroyed? What happened for you?
The first time or the second time?
Every time.
First time was interesting. The second time I cried because several members of my interfaith tent for justice group were arrested that morning, and I cried.
Yeah.
So it was very emotional, and they kicked me out of the camp because they didn't want to see me get arrested. But even though since then, down here in my tent, it did end up getting arrested for overnight camping.
So what kind of services or what was going on at the camp that you wanted to keep?
The Safe and Space tent.
Yeah.
Because I was a host of that tent.
Oh, okay.
I missed that. I missed doing that.
So what was going on at your tent?
People came in that since we're interfaith, from all different places they could meditate, they could pray, they could talk, they could seek counsel, they could come read, they could do yoga, they could just come back, take a nap, relax.
And then after the raid, people weren't congregating together to do self-care and community building. Is that what you're saying?
True, but since that time, Occupy has grown. Yeah. Because I say Occupy was very green. At least now we done committed out. People are starting to embrace each other, get to know each other, make friends with each other. And I see things going into a positive direction. But see, this is a revolution. It's still new.
All right.
And unfortunately, Oakland has just happened to be the craziest Occupy of all the occupiers. And I mean crazy not in a bad sense, but creative sense.
All right.
Because you get a whole bunch of people from different nationalities and ethnic groups and come together and make one nucleus. And each one of them support an ethnic group. That's why every time something happens down here that's non-occupied, they get a big turnout.
Right. Right. So, okay, well, thanks for being out here and for holding it down all year for us.
I'm one of the peacekeepers. I got a good working relationship, I hate saying it, with OPD. They're scared to arrest me.
All right.
I outthink them.
So you're looking out for everybody?
I look out for everybody. That's where my heart is.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, there's a sign right here. It says newly installed lawn. Can you see it? Newly installed lawn. Please keep off to ensure the lawn grows in healthy. City of Oakland. Just gonna take a picture of that here. So here's the plaza. It looks pretty different than it did last year. There's no tents. There's no children's village. There's no free food kitchen today. That might look different tonight or tomorrow. And this is the aftermath of the press conference that just took place on the morning here of October 25th, 2012. In front of Oakland City Hall. See who else wants to talk. Anybody want to talk for the live stream? You want to talk? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to answer the question.
Hello everyone out there. I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope that yet again we can all be part of a worldwide movement. Wherever you are, whether you're here in the United States or overseas in some place like Greece or Spain or China, we're all facing the same problems, which is a few people want to make a lot of money off the fact that everybody else is going to be poor. And this has become a consistent problem, obvious to everyone. So thanks for watching. Get out there and fight for your rights.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks for plugging the real friction. I see him here. You know what I mean?
Do you want to remember the tent camp with me for a minute?
We can talk. I mean, me and them, we can talk.
How's it going?
I'm stressed out.
I know.
I'm stressed out.
It's been kind of rough.
Over nonsense, though.
Do you want to talk about what it was like at the camp?
It's too beautiful.
Okay, let's do that.
It was too beautiful.
The camp was too beautiful?
Yeah, to talk about what was going on, man.
Do you agree with me when I say that everybody's hearts were broken, besides being physically assaulted by the police?
I mean, not heartbroken, man. There's a lot that was lost. You know, it's like the security within this community, within this tent encampment was lost. I mean, I keep saying it's a majority of people that came out here that was beyond what we could explain.
So many people came in. I remember interviewing you, and you talked about so many people's lives changed when they came out here.
Mine especially.
People became in service of each other.
Mine especially. Like I said, I can't speak on everybody else. I know how I was changed.
Do you want to talk about it?
I came up for the wrong reasons, and I ended up being righteous by people. You know, and I'm put that quote and unquote by the people. You know, because I still think of myself as being the same person that I've always have been. You know, and I don't think too much has changed. And the fact that people give me that respect for being who I am, you know,
yeah,
it's a beauty in that.
So at the tent camp, I mean, there was like hundreds of people being fed every day, and people.
24 hours.
I remember the first night that I was out here on a Saturday night. These guys were giving out socks, right?
Oh, you got the sock man on your face. No, I think that was like your third night out. No,
that was my first Saturday night.
Night out.
Saturday.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, but I mean, really, it was like you guys were talking about, going from, having not supported education, not supported, role models necessarily, and then having to find your way to Occupy Oakland, where you see things different.
I mean, like I keep telling people when I first walked up on the plaza, I was headed somewhere else, and I seen the cabin right here, and the first thing was I seen a bunch of white boys, and all I thought about was like a come up on these white boys got some marijuana, and I was thinking about, robbing. And I keep saying, I said that at the first anniversary, and that's the truth. I walked up them steps thinking about robbing somebody or getting a way to access myself to some capital. And I realized that I don't need capital, man, for the things that I needed at that time. Because a lot of that stuff was like pretty much provided for me for free on my first day for here, unconditional. And that unconditional shit that I got from the people here that I didn't know changed my ways, man.
And then you put a lot of energy into organizing social change this year. All right, showing up at the community barbecues and talking to people in the neighborhoods.
Barbecues was like very huge. I'm thinking in a way that was kind of like a little bit bigger than the actual encampment, because out of that we met other organizers within the community. You got to think about the People's Community Medic. That started from within our barbecue committee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The People's Community Medic right now teaches people how to deal with seizures and asthma attacks and gunshot wounds, and even all of the staff. And to be the first responder is like a big thing
Yeah.
in our own community because we don't have those like resources, like medical resources and things like that. And that 2 second or 3 second could be like a difference in saving somebody's life.
Right, right.
And people in our communities could learn like how to deal with like first responders in a emergency situation.
Right, right.
It's huge for our community.
Yeah, so the barbecues, like most of them were Saturdays, so I couldn't really go because that's the Jewish Sabbath. But I know that like a lot of the families whose youth have been killed by police were showing up at those barbecues asking for support from Occupy Oakland.
And like I said, it's like the original concept of the barbecues is to pretty much take the downtown Oscar Grant Plaza out into the communities, and that's what we did. And when people within those communities like Rainbow Park, Arroyo Park, and the Fermi Park, and even Oakland, when people started seeing like different things that we were doing, like free HIV testing, the teachings with the medics, and also like dealing with police brutality, like Alan Blueford, and even Stockton with James Rivera Jr. and those people, and they seen that we were actually getting things done that was like different than, hey, could you help us?
Yeah.
You know,
people were really
proactive.
showing up. Yeah.
It's a direct action type response that we're looking from within these people here that's within city council or government agencies, and we're looking for a direct response, you know, to what's affecting us.
Okay.
And sometimes we got those direct responses need direct action.
Right, right. Okay. Wow, so it was a big year.
I love this.
It was a good year.
I love this. And like I said, this is about us meeting other organizers, and that's what happened at the beginning of the camp.
Right.
And that's why you got all these different four-culture defense. And
the relationships are still going, even if there's division.
Even if they're fractured.
Yeah.
Even if they're fractured.
There's still alliances, and there's new affinity groups.
Within even the fractured group.
Right, and the networks are actually still growing. The whole web.
And that's what the part that I think that us as a movement need to understand is that we have met people, even if some of those people we don't agree with, and we could organize around those things.
Right, right.
You know, and I believe that. I believe we could all organize around even some ones that we don't agree with.
It seems like unity is like critical for a movement of 99%.
That's move on what we agree on.
Yeah, right.
And
we don't need to focus on the disagreements.
See how we can help out on each other on what we're doing.
Yeah, all right.
You know?
Thanks, Ollie's. Yeah. Nice to see you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, hey there.
Occupy, remind the people. That we should hold our leaders. We should hold our leaders accountable. We elect you, we put you in a good position. You should do a good job. We hold you accountable. You are leaders, we expect you to lead well, not bad. That's why we occupy.
Okay, thank you. Hi, wait. I'm Wendy. And I know when you were taken in Northern California. Is that the right person? Or like you were on a bike and you got. Do you want to talk about it for a while?
No, sorry, no.
No, okay, just wondering.